Welcome back. We took a week off, but we're back better than ever. Right here.
Back.
Back on Drawn to DC, episode 6. Yes, episode 6. I had to think about it.
Okay.
But Luke is trying to figure out his sitting situation. But
Disclaimer.
we got an interesting uh group of movies here because these next two episodes are going to be Damian
I'll just do
focused.
this. Fuck Damian. No,
Damian,
there's a lot of character development going on. So
yeah, I mean, if you don't like Damian and Son of Batman, chances are by the time you see Batman versus Robin, you'll enjoy it. I gotta give him props because that's such a misleading title too. By the way, um, I guess if you're talking literal, I suppose. But anyway,
yeah.
um, before we really get into it, you and I kind of chatted about it while we watched them. Uh, I was kind of surprised by this one, by Batman versus Robin, because I was, as you've heard on the show, we weren't super big on Son of Batman. And that could have just been timing. That could have also been like, well, I want to get to the next Justice League movie or whatever. That could have been part of it. I just felt like there was something missing in that first one.
Oh,
And
and that brings me to my. I took some notes on it, and that kind of brings me to my first point. Well, not my first point, but one of my first points is we kind of got some of the stuff we wanted in the last movie. Because
mhm,
like the whole scene where Dick and Damian fight each other, it kind of just skips that. We got a little bit more of them fighting each other in
mhm.
this movie, and I was like, okay, that's cool. I like that. Let's get that. But
And
anyway,
I'll
side
give
note.
I'll give them props too with doing this continuity. I I don't know if it would have worked better to have Son of Batman after Throne of Atlantis, but to have Batman versus Robin and Bad Blood back to back, I think benefit and watching them back to back, I think I enjoyed it more and enjoy those more because and when we talk about Bad Blood, we'll get into that. But what they do with Dick and how they use Dick in this story, how they use him later, I really enjoy the fact that Dick is really involved in these Batman movies because
Yeah,
I just don't feel like they do enough with Nightwing. And don't get me wrong, I don't Nightwing is in it. He plays a part in this, but he has a much bigger role in the next
Bad
movie.
Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
which we'll get into that too. But there's a point I like to make when we get into the next episode or whatever. But
mhm. But one thing I find interesting about this movie, doing this, doing going Son of Batman and doing this in this little like Damian Bruce trilogy, um, uh, I really like how much they took time to really work on Bruce because that first movie is about Damian. This movie is about Bruce dealing with being a father, dealing with Damian not listening to him and thinking like, oh, because at this point he's probably thought he's had three Robins. Dick was his is always been his number one. Dick is like, I don't look. He treats
he
them as
treats
kid
Dick. He treats Dick so much differently than the others
because he
because
and
he's the OG
well, and I think
and
and they
he's
do
more of a son than the other ones ever will be.
well they do a really good job in the comics with this. It was just funny enough because I just started using DC Universe Infinite, so that's like their digital comics app, and I got like a 3 month free trial, so I've been using that. And I've been going back and I was reading the Grant Morrison run in like 2009, the Batman and Robin story, where at this point Bruce Wayne is lost in time because he got hit. I think it was he got hit with like an Omega beam or something. And so like his whole thing is getting back. So then this was after the Battle of the Cowl event, and Dick Grayson is Batman, and Damian is Robin, and I actually really like their dynamic because it truly feels, and especially in this movie and then in Bad Blood, it truly feels like an older brother. Like I think
Yeah,
it is that weird thing of like, yeah, this is Dick being like you said, of the three, Dick was most like a son to Bruce. So to constantly see that would be like, well, I'm actually his kid, being like, yeah, you're adopted. This isn't your real dad. He's my dad. Like this whole conflict that goes
Mhm.
out. I always like
That's
that
that's
dynamic.
that's that's kind of what I was gonna say too, and I guess we'll just
Well, and to
double dose it
wrap
because
up
they're so close. They're so close to each other.
real fast to wrap up that thought. What I like about what they did in the comic was that story, but also say you will never be my dad. You're not Batman. You're just dressed up like him. Like like he
Yeah,
and again it they touch on that in the next movie, but I like that dynamic exists even in all three of these movies.
yeah. And I was gonna say that, but I mean, we can touch more on it in the next episode. But I was just gonna say that I prefer Damian as Robin only when Dick is Batman.
Oh, then
That's the
I
only time. That's the only time I'm okay with it because I don't like the father son bickering of Batman being like, "You're grounded, piece of shit," like, and then Damien just being like, "Well, my grandfather's better." Blah, blah, blah. I don't like. I like it
is it
when
because you're a dad
they're
now?
siblings. I think so,
I
but I
I
like it
felt that
better. I
way.
like it better. I like it better as the siblings fighting,
Yeah,
where there's more. I think there's more depth to Damien being trained by Nightwing versus
I think you'd like
being
that
trained by
Grant.
Batman.
Yeah, I think you'd like that Grant Morrison book just because it does really touch on the older brother syndrome of like
Yeah.
and yeah, it's really great. And I
Mhm.
think there's a this one this I just felt like this was a lot more fun and bombastic and it felt more like a comic book. I felt like it does a good job of being a sequel and it does a really good job of building on what they had in that first movie and I honestly think it makes Son of Batman a little bit better now that I've watched them.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Like I said, there's a lot of more character development, and there's redeeming qualities that we get from these two movies.
Mhm.
And I'm not as mad, but I am still because the next because there's these two, and then I think there's three more where they're like high Damien focus, and I'm just like, dude,
Justice League versus Teen
the
Titans.
Teen
Yeah,
Titans, and then the Judas Contract is a Teen Titans
yeah.
movie.
I the funny thing is about this, and I said about this movie's title, like they use that title to catch your eye, and that's about it. Because I've seen Justice League versus Teen Titans, and they have one, maybe two fight scenes, like Justice League fighting the Teen Titans, and
It's mostly that they have
it's
conflicting
conflict. Yeah,
views, and that's about
because
it.
we only see one actual fight between Bruce and
Yeah,
Damian, which was a pretty solid fight. All of the action in this movie fucking slaps.
yeah,
Like all of the
yeah.
action sequences are awesome. Like the
Well,
final fight scene, oh my god.
let's get back on track and kind of go through the movie because the beginning of the movie is creepy and weird with
Fun
the doll
fact:
maker
Doll Maker,
Weird Al.
Weird Al. Holy shit! It
Yeah,
blew my mind when I saw
creepy
that
as
credit.
shit.
No,
Um,
I thought it was interesting to start so creepy and start
yeah,
with this tone because I think it tries to set a tone of like, yeah, these DC movies are a little bit more adult
hmm
very violent. And I was kind of surprised after that. So that first scene happens. He ends up in the woods with him, but he doesn't end up killing him because he keeps doing this throughout the movie. And I love this, whereas he keeps saying justice, not vengeance, justice, not vengeance. Like, so you're actually seeing Damien try and
right.
do it his father's way. You actually try and see him do this right.
But
And
then you see the distrust because of who Damien is and how he was raised. Because as soon as Batman finds him, he's like, "What the fuck did you do? Like, why did you do that?"
and you know what's funny? Like the issues that you have with Damien and Bruce bickering, I actually enjoy because I like having the father son dynamic, and I like having the flaws of Bruce and the idea like you
Yeah,
can clearly tell he's struggling to try and figure this out because even when he had kids, they were older. They
yeah,
were adopted children. They weren't, you know, And even so, with this guy, he's got to like reprogram his brain. But I had not seen this one before either. And
Hmm.
when we see Dollmaker die because Talon does it, I had to think about it for a second. I'm like, wait a minute, because I was like, are they doing Court of Owls in this? Like that's immediately what my mind went to because I couldn't remember that at all. And then sure enough, that
Hmm.
is part of the plot. And I thought that was interesting.
I think they done. I think they done it really well in
Yeah,
this movie,
and
which is I wish
there,
they could adapt this live action, which would be so cool.
which is also funny too because I feel like Bad Blood has a lot of you can I think I see where the ideas came from for the Gotham Knights video game kind of come out of that. And it's also funny because the Court of Owls is in the Gotham Knights game, so it's just kind of funny that I'm playing this and then like these two movies back to back, kind of like, oh, I can see
Hmm.
kind of where they stitch together some sort. But to be clear, Gotham Knights is totally different than Bad Blood. It's a different lineup uh, versus what that movie is, and I like them introducing the Court of Owls in this. I think it's interesting because it's a really smart adaptation. One, but two, it is still very much like the panels of the comic book of the Scott Snyder run, and
Hmm.
like there's I know we're jumping around, but they're like the I just want to kind of get to this part because this is my favorite part of the movie when he's tripping balls off that
Yeah.
gas. This is where the character beats, like the character moments, really shined, and I think in a weird way made me like Damian more because I and like their whole dynamic more because as parents we can identify with this and there is that fear of am I doing this right, am I gonna make this kid
Yeah.
uh a bad person, am I doing what's right, and like to see that visualized is so like it was such a well
Because
done
they
scene.
show basically
We go back to Crime Alley.
What Bruce pushes him to become.
Well,
If he were to follow with Talon
well it's
and do
so
all that
what's so great
because
about the
he's.
scene though, Luke, is the generational trauma, and then the how it's already affecting him now, and like to start
Hmm.
with Crime Alley, start with that, and but then yeah, then have the visualization of Damien was like, damn, that was good. Like
Yeah, and then the whole like
he keeps shooting him,
unloading the clip into him,
and he
and
just
he
keeps
hugs
getting
him.
shot, and he keeps coming at him, and he just, I'm sorry, I love you, I'm sorry. Like, damn, that was such a good sequence, and
Yeah.
it and it's like again watching these two movies back to back make me realize just why I love Batman so much, and I love that character because that's such a relatable moment, and not I mean not to the level of my parents being shot in an alleyway, but
Hmm. Well, speaking of which, I enjoy when they do like a different voice. Like this version is a different Batman. It's not Conroy,
oh man,
but I always love when they bring him back to be Thomas.
that was so good.
I
I
love
love
that.
that so
I love
much.
that.
Yeah, that's a
Like
good touch.
they did it a lot in like the newer like DC runs and stuff, and I think that's so like it's
It's
so
smart.
cool.
It's so smart because he's got
Yeah.
such a good voice, and his voice is always going to be um tied to that character. So yeah, I love that. Like everything about that, man. I just really liked it. And like that scene itself kind of took it over for me of like why I was really enjoying it. Like I was having fun with it, and it was kind of how I felt with Son of Batman for a while. I was like, oh, this is not bad. This is whatever, but it's not like blowing me away. And then that
Hmm.
sequence, and then like everything after that, going from that to the third act, I was like, holy shit, man. I was legitimately smiling the whole time. Like, this is fucking bonkers. Like, I love it. Especially
Yeah,
when he does like
it's
the
good.
Clint Eastwood line at the end. I'm like, what are we doing? This is insane. But yeah. I just want to really talk about that because that scene always that's what stood out for me of like I was like, okay, I'm really into this. Um well, again, all the action in this is great. I do love the whole we get to the situation of where he's trying to escape Wayne Manor, and honestly, I don't think we've ever seen this before. but it was cool to see like the security measures that Bruce has
Right.
around Wayne Manor. You don't really see that, so that was I really like that scene too,
Hmm.
and and being the dad, he's like, "You really think I was gonna let you do that again?" Like, are you...
And then Alfred being Alfred and trying to be the dad and the grandfather at this point, and he's like,
yeah,
"Hey,
yeah,
you need to show him that you trust him." So I turned the security off. He's like, "You're a stupid asshole." He's like, "You should have never done that."
yeah.
That's
Well,
that's that.
yeah.
I
Well,
love I love Alfred just in this whole thing. And I love the voice actor that they got, the guy that plays him. Forget his name, but I feel like
yeah.
he's pretty good.
Um. So then, yeah, we get the joke of like Batman going on patrol by himself, and Robin's like, "What's like? What about me?" And he's like, "I got you a sitter." So then, yeah, we get that
The
payoff
Nightwing
of
comes in, and then we get to see them train a little
oh,
bit and
and
fight. And
what you talk again. This is why I think you and I love their relationship. Is just the fact that like I was trained by Ra's al Ghul, and he's like, "Yeah, well, I was trained by Bruce Wayne, and he kicked his
he
ass.
kicked
Like I'm
his
kicking
ass.
yours."
It's so funny.
And that's
Uh,
why I've
and the
always
thing
loved
too
Dick,
is
dude.
like,
Oh, don't clip that.
and but it's funny too because it's always when Damian is fighting either Bruce or Dick, he's not letting back. He's all out. I want to hurt you, and them
And
two
they
are
are,
like
yeah.
they're just like holding it back, and they're still able to pretty much kick his ass, and rightfully so. I get it. He's 10 years old, but at the same time, it's like this little fucking prick thinks he's better than everyone, and I love it. I'm over it.
I yeah, we might have to take a Damian break because that's kind of
Yeah.
I again
Well, because
these next two movies
it's
he's better. In these next two movies he's a much more enjoyable
yeah,
character.
but there's things that they add that reminds you that he's 10 years old, but you still hate it because in this one there's a scene where Bruce is trying to be a redeeming parent. He's trying to be nice. He's trying to be this. So he talks about
Has a movie night
a
with them.
movie, and then he's like butter popcorn, extra drenched in butter, and then Jamie's like, I want my own bowl. Like, okay, cool, you entitled little shit.
And then even after that he still tries to break out again. It's like you turd.
And then he says, "You think that one movie's gonna make up for all the time that you were an asshole?" Like,
I could okay, but I kind of see where he's coming from in a certain degree. I also
mhm.
think we have to cut Damien some slack because he look at his upbringing, especially when we get to this next movie. Like, look at his upbringing. So Damien is the way he is for a reason. But yeah,
Well,
I know. Well, oh no, later, God, there's a later moment in the movie where like the dad and me kind of like came out in my head where he Batman helps him or something, and then he still has like a smart ass remark, and I'm like, dude, shut up.
mhm.
But again, that's what they wrote him well. That's he is supposed to be an annoying 10-year-old kid. So like
Yeah. But
there's
there's
our like there's those like
what
dad
is that?
moments of like he's
Oh,
just trying to help you. He's just trying to reach out. He's trying to understand, damn it.
but right before he breaks out and Dick's on the phone with Corey, which is Starfire, and he's like, "Oh, the red one with
With the
with the
thong.
thong." I'm like, dude, Dick is a horny guy. Like,
Oh,
because even in the next one, all it
it's
is
her, dude. That was one of the best payoff gags from the second to the next movie, like the third movie, because that
yeah.
was so fucking good. Um,
But like, I also wanted, because I know we're gonna rate animation and like art style and stuff. The only gripe, the only thing that I have a
oh
problem with in
boy,
this movie is his chain, the necklace. Why?
I love it
Why?
so much. It's
Why?
so stupid.
Like, it's not like I
And
get
the
it,
like
it's
the
cool,
dude
but
with
like,
that black tee. Come on now.
yeah, but it's drawn poorly. It's like off of his tracks, and it's just so perfectly round. Like they could have. And and the reason why in Flashpoint I hated Aquaman, I love for the doll maker for some reason. How he's just big, hulking, and just drawn weird. I
Yeah,
think it just works so much better for this character versus when it was with Aquaman.
we didn't talk about it. but I like this. I do like after that scene where like Damien's like, "Why didn't you kill him?" Where he's like, "If that were me in there, you wouldn't you have killed him?" Like, I like that moment
Yeah,
too because
yeah.
Damien ain't wrong in that scenario. Because I'd be like, dude, if something like that happened to my kid, I would murder that
I'm
person.
not. I'm not
No,
justifying
no one should
murder,
ever do that. But I'm just saying, like,
but at the same time, if it were my kids, I'd gladly go to jail for that.
I think
Like,
most parents would say that.
it's where I draw the line.
But you know what? That's why we're not Batman, because Batman, we got to be better.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah. Well, just what do you have for notes? Because I feel like we've been jumping around a little bit.
I'm kind of just jumping around in my notes.
What are some things you really wanted to talk about? Because I
Okay.
want to talk about the
So
violence.
this is one of my notes. Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, is the greatest detective, but his choice in women is shit.
Terrible.
Almost every time he has a girlfriend, turns out to be the main villain,
Yeah.
basically. And the fact that Samantha was in bed with Talon the whole time, and she's the fucking like grandmaster
That
or
was a
whatever you want to
great.
call him.
I love that
That was a sweet
twist.
twist, but it was just like, how do you not know this shit? And then at the end, he was like, I suspected her from the beginning, and I'm like,
Oh
did
yeah,
you
sure.
though? Did you though?
Were you suspecting when you were going down on her, huh, buddy? When you were
Um,
having sex?
yeah, while you were doing the old chop suey.
Hey, man.
Um, uh,
Talon's got to get it. You know.
uh,
Well.
oh, the when they're in the Wayne Manor and Batman and Nightwing are having their like battle against the army, that was pretty cool because you got to see them, you know,
I
doing
told
their
you
buddy cop shit.
I told you this when we were playing Arkham Knight back in the day, and there's that side mission with Nightwing. I was said it then. I said it when the main story where you're doing shit with Robin. I call me crazy, but I like it when Batman is fighting with Robin or when Batman is fighting with other
Hmm.
members of the Bat family. It's kind of crazy concept, I know, but well, and
We need more of it.
what I love about this is the different like they managed to show that all of these guys were trained by the same people, right? So Batman's trained by Arash, Batman trains Dick and Tim or Jason and Tim and all that. And Damien's trained by a little bit of both, right? So he kind of incorporates that. But then you also see Dick's fighting style where he is an
Acrobatic.
acrobatic, you know,
Hmm.
and they kind
So
of
they all kind of have their own
right
backgrounds,
and to
and
see
then they
like
develop that.
yeah, and we at this point we haven't got to see Dick and Bruce fight together. So when we see him do that acrobatic flippy dippy shit with Batman, it's awesome. Like that part where they're like when Bruce punches down and he's like ducked over, and then Nightwing goes on his back, rolls off his back, spins and kicks a dude. It's like that's the shit I like. I'll be honest, man. That of all of these right now, that sequence when he's fighting all of the Talons, that whole sequence is one of the best we've seen so far in terms of just getting all the action on
Yeah.
screen, making it easy to point out and see what happens, and like just, but also able to like really illustrate the speed of like when Batman was just fucking going ham and like blocking shots and just like you know, getting a couple punches and like jabs, and then Nightwing's in the back. Yeah,
Well,
it was just great.
what's funny too is, like I said in the last one, or maybe it's in Atlantis. I think is what I said. Is like as long as they're not human, we can kill them
Well, he's like, I'm not even
because
sure these things are
I'm not even
alive.
sure they're alive. He like
So that
because
means
he's
kill them.
literally incinerated somebody in the first scene when he fought the three or whatever in the
Mm-hmm.
museum. Like I don't know
So
if they're real people.
this is what I like.
Kill them
This
all.
this is what I think makes a really good adaptation. As I was mentioning earlier, it takes enough from the comics and incorporates it, but then changes things because the Court of Owls. It's the same concept in this, but it is closer tied to like tied to the families in Gotham, like Batman, because in the first time when he starts investigating in the comic, Batman finds a body, goes to a crime scene, the DNA is Dick Grayson's. And so then he's like, wait a minute, who has Dick's DNA? Because he's immediately like, Dick wouldn't do this, obviously. So he's like, how? And then it kind of unravels, and there's a different explanation for how they figure out Bruce is Batman in that story and stuff like that too. But I think this does. I like how this version of it. I like that they didn't go that route, and they could have because Nightwing's in it. But I like that they focus more on um with the Damian stuff, and they focused on that conflict with this. Um, the dude they got to play Talon, great voice. I like Talon's voice. I really liked his design. Like I dug, and that's like right from the
The
comics. The glove, the claw, and then the weird like his mask just looks stupid, and I kind of love that.
yeah. Oh, I
I mean,
mean,
it looks like an owl. I mean,
it was cool. But the creepy scene when they first introduce Bruce to the court, and it's like we're the sons and the daughters of like blah blah, and you see the father and mother with like the little girl and the
mm,
doll, and she's got the mask on, and they all have that part was creepy as shit to me because it's
yeah.
like this is a cult. We have our children in this cult, and
Mm.
they're drinking the Kool Aid and everything too, and I'm like, man, can't do that.
Another great thing that they kept from the books in the movie too is the Talons. Like I thought that was a cool concept. Um,
Better
of
than the man bats.
yeah. Well, and I love that too. The whole immortality for 24 hours idea, and
Hmm.
which is goes back to the comics and stuff. So again, all of it kind of works really well. I was legitimately surprised at how much I enjoyed this one because I really thought I was gonna feel like I would do with Son of Batman. Be like, it's all right. Like I don't feel like any of these are gonna be like really bad, but yeah,
Yeah.
this one I was really surprised, especially when we get to like this, like the third act of this is fucking awesome. Like it
When we
just
get in there and fucking Alfred's got a shotgun and he's just
well, even the reveal, like the steady build to the reveal of like what's he building, what's he making, and I thought like it's gonna be like a big vehicle or something. I didn't think they were gonna go with the mech suit, and I loved it because I was just like, that's
mm,
so ridiculous. That's awesome. But the best part is seeing Bruce get more and more aggro throughout this sequence, and then just go and be like, "I told you, sons of bitches, get out
yes.
of my cave."
That was
It's
that was
so
one of my
dumb.
notes too
It's
because
so
it's so dumb, but I
amazing.
loved it. I
It's
loved it.
so
Like
it
you
works,
sons of
man.
bitches.
Because it's like a fucking Clint Eastwood line. It literally is like one of his lines from like I think Unforgiven or something. It's not verbatim, but it's in the vein, and it's like, "Get off my lawn," you know. But it's just I don't know, man. That was fucking great. It's cheesy one-liners work, man. I dig them, and just yeah, you sons of bitches, get out of my cave.
Love it.
Well, and then the final fight with Talon, and he's like, "You went after my family. You fucked with my son. This is gonna hurt, and I'm gonna enjoy it." Like that was so good.
But
Like they
then,
nailed
because then it's
Batman in
like
this, man.
the whole idea is Talon doesn't want to hurt Damien because he's like I was in your position. I was trained
Yeah,
to be this
cut
this
from the same
thing.
cloth.
And then he's like, just you got to be able to cross the line. And then he goes, no, justice, not vengeance. And then he kills himself. Like,
Trust your
what?
instincts. Yeah.
I was like, why? Like,
Um.
what? I don't get that.
Well, and that's another interesting thing too. If I remember correctly, the whole Talon was a character that Scott Snyder made called Lincoln March. That was like someone he made. So I think they just kind of went a different way. We're just like, oh, let's just make it just a dude. Um. Yeah, that was kind of dumb. Well, I just like I guess his point was like, well, my mission's over. I failed. Might as well kill myself.
I
Like
guess, yeah.
If Damien's not, I think the implication is, well, if he's not gonna kill me, then I failed, and you know. But then of course Bruce has to be a dad and be like, I'm proud of you for not killing that guy.
Even though you kind of did.
I mean, you didn't. He killed himself, I guess, but um, yeah. I I really enjoyed this one. I don't know if there's any other stuff I wanted to mention. Um, trying to think if there's any like Easter eggs I wanted to mention.
The random naked "we can conquer the world" talk between Talon and Samantha. That was just kind of weird and creepy.
Oh, well, that reveal was great
Um,
too. When it like zoomed in and then you get the reveal that it was her, Samantha, where because that like how Samantha connects, it was like, oh, it's Damian, and then
yeah,
connect like that
that was
was
pretty cool.
awesome.
It was
I
like,
did like
oh,
that.
Bruce Wayne's ward. That means
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne is Batman.
Oh,
What? No,
but
it's
then
not.
but then I agree with Talon. The solution was stupid. So let's kill him and like really mess with him. And it's like that's just gonna piss him off even more.
Yeah, because the whole reason was they wanted to take him because the whole idea and the whole plan was that Talon was supposed to become the ultimate weapon. They were supposed to kill him so they could resurrect him over
Yeah.
and over again.
And he was gonna
And he
lead
didn't want to do that.
he was gonna lead the Talons.
Yeah, and he didn't want to do that because he wanted to fuck the main guy's daughter. But the main guy's gone, and the daughter wanted to carry out his vision, but she also wanted to fuck the dude. And so they're like, "Hey, well, we'll just find a replacement, and we'll make them do it." And then she
Hey,
was like, "Nah,
hey.
fuck that."
Number one rule: you don't put your dick in crazy. And you failed it, Talon.
Well,
All right, we're gonna
she didn't have much of
go.
a personality either.
All right, I'm. All right. Did you stop making that face like you're taking a shit? I don't want to go to the ratings. All right, as first time listeners here, our rating system is 1 to 7. Why 7? Because there's 7 members of the Justice League. All right, back off. This is our show. We'll do it how we want. 3 categories. We rate the story, the art style, and the voice acting. Luke, let's go first up. Let's go with voice acting.
Voice acting.
What did you think? And while you're doing that,
I think it was a perfect 7.
and while you're doing that, I'm gonna crack this one open for the working man.
No, no, I really like the casting in this
7 though, perfect
timeline.
score. Wow.
It's because Conroy was back mainly.
I really like Jason O'Mara as or Mara, however you say his name.
Mm-hmm.
I like his Batman. I don't
I think
know.
he'd make a good live action Batman, to be honest.
You know what?
He's got the look.
I'm gonna give it a 6. I'll give it a 6 out of 7. Because it's hard, man. It's hard to think of perfect casting, but
I think this is pretty close.
story. Let's go with story next. I'll go first. I give it the story itself. I give it a solid 7. I really dug this. I love that they incorporated more Damian and Bruce stuff into the Court of Owls story and kind of did something cool with it and different than the comics.
Yeah.
You're just gonna give it. I think we might have our first 21 on this one. I feel like.
I mean, I enjoyed the story a lot too. I think I might give it.
If we give it 7s across the board,
I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7.
If we give it 7 straight across, we call those blackjacks.
Yahtzee. Oh. That was a joke, by the way.
I don't think it was. All right. All right, here we go. Chance for a perfect score from Batman versus Robin.
It's not a perfect score. Sorry.
Art style.
6. And it's only because of his chain.
I'll be honest, I'll go a little bit lower. I'll go 5 on that one because I just felt like at some points, I just felt like they're really good at drawing masks that sometimes when these characters are unmasked, their faces just don't quite look right. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I feel like their eyes might be a little bit too far apart or their mouths are too small. I don't know.
I feel like Bruce's head is bigger than the cowl, too.
Yeah. And that's honestly
I get it.
Yeah. That's me nitpicking too.
Me too, though.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this is. I mean, most of the time we enjoy these movies. We're just kind of nitpicking. But all right, so not
20.
you got a 20 from Luke. You got what, a 19 from me because I had 6, 5. That's 11 plus 5. No, that can't be right. 17? No, I had a 6, 7, 5. That's what I had. I can't count. So
Yeah, you had 19.
I had 19. 19 from me, a 20 from Luke. Not
20.
quite a 21. Who knows when we'll get our first blackjack? That's it. Nothing special. Not the Drawn to DC Blackjack. You know what? Drawn to DC Blackjack Award. That's the perfect score. That's what you want. You want the blackjack. I thought I'd try to think of something clever something else to say, like Cracker Jack Blackjack, but then we can't get Cracker Jack as a sponsor because I don't even know if they exist anymore.
Cracker Jack? I'm pretty sure it does, but I think it's like
There's only
they
3
they have
guarantees.
gender inclusive because now there's like Cracker
Cracker
Jackie or
Jill.
Cracker something like that. I don't know.
Wow. All right. Well, that's goddamn woke politics messing with my Cracker Jacks. What a
Might as well just start calling him woke man.
Woker Jacks.
Woke.
Dude, here's a good parody. Instead of the Joker, it's the Woker.
The woker.
All right, next
You'd have to cast a gay guy who's also black and
oh wow,
Jewish
that's
and albino.
That's very
and
woke.
He's got red hair and
their pronouns are
you
they
just
them.
got to hit all the demographics.
Just piss off
time.
all of those losers. All right, that's gonna wrap it up for this week. We'll be back next week to do another Batman movie. We're kind of wrapping up the Damian. I don't want to say the Damian trilogy because there's more Damian movies. I don't even know.
Well, the son of Batman trilogy, I would say.
Yeah, that's I feel like that's a good way to put it. And
because then he breaks off and he goes to join the Titans.
Yeah, then
later.
Yeah.
So then it's like a Titans trilogy at some point, but
pretty much. But anyway,
yeah,
that's it for that. What did you think about Batman versus Robin? Let us know in the comments down below. I'm making if you're listening to this audio wise, I'm sorry. You're not on YouTube. Can't help you. Look at the pose on this guy. See you next week for Batman Bad Blood.
Bad Blood.
Keep on drawing.